Play ball, Las Vegas. This is Covering the Bases with the A's. Sponsored by Big Bully Turf.
What's up, baseball fans? Welcome inside Covering the Bases with the A's. That's Kevin Bollinger. I'm Mike Davis. Kevin, tell us what's on deck.
Well, we've got a big batting order today for today's show. Shea Langoliers delivering 2 homers for his wife while she delivers in another way. And A's former pitcher and broadcaster Dallas Braden joins the show, plus a look ahead to the series with the Baltimore Orioles. But we start with the Big Amish and his on-base streak.
See if the 2-out magic can rub off on Nick Kurtz, and it gets through into right field. Here comes Geloff home, the throw from Garcia, and the tag too late. 2-0 as Nick Kurtz with an RBI single, and the hometown kids and their family very happy here in Philadelphia.
With that RBI single, Nick Kurtz extends his on-base streak to 30 games, and against his childhood team in front of family and friends, no less. The Lancaster, PA native, has the longest active on-base streak in Major League Baseball and the longest by an A's player since Matt Chapman back in 2018. But if you're curious who holds the A's franchise record for that stat, well, that belongs to the legendary Mark McGwire with 62 games. So, Kevin, just a week ago, we were talking about the historic consecutive walk streak Kurtz had going. Now this, I guess this guy just can't stop making history. Kevin, are you more impressed with this streak or the consecutive walk streak that ended last week?
No, I think it's the on-base streak. That's the one that stands out because it's clear pitchers are really approaching Kurtz differently and very carefully this year. Even if he doesn't walk, he's still finding a way to get on base. And he's been a leadoff hitter a lot this season. And while he may not be a traditional leadoff hitter, the importance for that spot is to get on base. So it's huge that he is doing that for the Athletics. And even though his batting numbers are down this season, compared to last year, his on-base percentage is still up. 414 so far this season compared to 383 last season.
Yeah, so Kurtz, he grew up a Phillies fan just 73 miles east of Citizens Bank Park, and his family, they were actually season ticket holders. So the chance to play at home in front of family, a remarkably special moment for the young man.
And while the on-base streak is certainly sweet, the Big Amish's homecoming in Philadelphia was unfortunately spoiled. On Wednesday, the A's squandered a lead in the 8th. Jack Perkins credited with the loss. And get this, the A's have 10 blown saves already this season. That's time for the most in the majors. In the 7th inning or later, the A's relievers account for 73 runs allowed this season. That's second most in the bigs. But Mark Kotze has plenty of confidence in the guys that he has in the pen. He spoke about it Wednesday night.
You're going to have stretches where you don't get outs out of the bullpen, and you have to find ways to navigate those innings and still believe and build confidence in these guys. I still have confidence in the bullpen and the job they're going to do.
Still, with all of that, as of the taping of this very show on Thursday afternoon, the A's are still in first place of the AL West, sitting at 500 with an 18-18 record. The Seattle Mariners and Texas Rangers creeping behind in second and third place.
That Langoliers brings to the table.
0-2, high fly ball, left center field, bearing a ring for Langoliers. Have been victories for Cleveland. 2-1, that ball is not coming back, and we got a one-run game.
Now, speaking of special moments, let's take it back to last Saturday at Sutter Health Park in Sacramento. The A's taking on the Cleveland Guardians, and in the bottom of the first came the first of the 2 homers for Shea Langoliers. The next in the bottom of the 5th, and guess what? It all went down on his wife's birthday.
It's very routine-oriented, just getting in the cage, doing my routine every day, kind of checking that box. That in itself just kind of creates confidence going into the game, just knowing that I checked all my boxes pregame, I prepared, I'm ready to go, and then baseball is such a game of fluctuations and adjustments, just kind of like back and forth, how pitchers are attacking you, and it's just kind of being aware of that and going out there and trusting yourself.
Shay's having a phenomenal start to a year. Again, today, really the catalyst of the offense. He's one of the leaders on the team.
Yeah, so Shea took some time away from his family, going on the paternity list, because on Sunday, his wife actually gave birth to a baby boy, but he is back in the lineup on this Thursday as of the show taping. So, Kevin, what kind of pop from your catcher do you expect from typically a catcher? And what does that mean for a guy like this to be leading all catchers in homers and the team in homers?
Yeah, he's turning into a superstar right in front of everybody's eyes. The pop is great. The A's love the power numbers, but Langeliers really does so many other things offensively. His speed is really underrated. It catches a lot of infielders off guard because he gets down the line so fast. And if they're a little lackadaisical in getting that ball over to first base, he has beat some balls out. Defensively, he's solid behind the plate. He's great at handling the pitchers as well. And if you were to ask me who on the A's roster could be a major league manager someday, Langeliers is the guy, if, of course, he's interested.
Hey, you know what, catchers? They're some of the smartest guys on the diamond. All right, so to some trade news we got to get to now. It seems like the Athletics front office has a type. First Langeliers, now Jonah Heim. I guess they definitely have a thing for Braves catcher.
Yeah, the A's acquiring the switch-hitting catcher this week from Atlanta for cash, a move between two first-place teams. The Braves loaded a catcher right now, so it does make a lot of sense. Atlanta loves what they have in Drake Baldwin, a young stud who won NL Rookie of the Year last season. Plus, they have Sean Murphy just coming off the IL, so they need to make a little bit of room.
Yeah, for the A's, they get a 30-year-old who actually started his career in Oakland with the A's back in 2020. Heim will be a solid backup for Langeliers, who is batting .336 with 10 dingers and 18 RBI. On deck, the one and only Dallas Braden joins the show. The A's former pitcher and current TV analyst talks perfect game memories and more ahead of Mother's Day. Plus, of course, we're taking a trip to the farm. Mariah Janos is talking with Aviators manager Fran Reardon about the development of the top prospects in the farm system. All right, guys, so now we are joined by Dallas Braden, former A's pitcher, current TV analyst, color commentator with the Athletics broadcast team. DB, good to see you. You know, we're a couple days away from your historic moment when you threw a perfect game. May 9th, 2010, just a couple days out from that. Of course, it was a special day, Mother's Day, thinking of your mom who passed away when you were in high school. Your grandmother Peggy was there. Do you still get chills when that day comes up on the calendar?
Every time, even the days leading up to it. I always say that being able to go to the ball field is truly a godsend for me because I get to share that day. It's like the coolest Groundhog Day ever because I get to relive those moments because inevitably fans come up and they talk about that day. They talk about remembering that day, where they were. I think what's funny is a lot of folks tell me stories about some of the trouble that they may have gotten into because they weren't where they were supposed to be on that day because they were stuck watching the TV. And I try to apologize. Look, I only had so much to do with that day. But I think that's the blessing. And that's how baseball continues to give me things that I feel like I'm not necessarily deserving of because of a day that my teammates and I have shared since that day, and we'll be able to share for the rest of our life. But the fact that my grandmother was there and still continues to get to celebrate and enjoy that moment and gets to enjoy the conversations that she sees me have with fans at the ball field. She's there a lot of the time. She won't be there this time because we will be in Baltimore, which is still a special place for us because it was where I made my major league debut.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like there's going to be a full circle moment where I made my major league debut in a place where I'm now also able to celebrate Mother's Day. And it means the world to me. And I don't know that I'll ever truly come to terms with how magnitudinal it is because I almost try to block it out at times because I jokingly tell everybody, look, it was one good day at work. I had one good day at work, but I'm happy to relive that day with fans who are willing to take the time and stop by and say hello.
So, of course, the A's in the top spot of the AL West. A lot of people may have not saw that coming. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. There was so much juice from last season with this young core of remarkable players. Did you anticipate, the A's, after stumbling out of the gate, they had a tough stretch early on the schedule this season. The MLB did them no favors. Now they've turned things around, the bullpen a little shaky, but did you anticipate to be in this spot right now in May, Mother's Day, first place AL West?
Yes, I anticipated to be competitive. And if that meant we were going to be sitting atop the division, so be it. And I felt like the first road trip was going to be a test out of the gate to really give us a gauge on who we were as a club, right? How well can you pitch? How well can you hit? Are you going to be able to play catch and play defense? Are you going to be able to tap guys down there in the bullpen? And whether it's them shaking out roles for themselves or just taking on the roles that they find themselves in and going out and performing and trying to do so consistently, I felt like that was going to be a good recipe for us to come away on the road trip competitive. And the fact that we were competitive off of that road trip, that matters, because you're going to Toronto to open the series. You go to Atlanta, you come home for 72 hours, basically. It wasn't really a homestand. It was 2.5 days where you're at home. And then you go and you hit the road, you go to New York. Pretty daunting task considering the expectations of those two clubs. You come off of that road trip 5-1, you're feeling pretty good about how things are starting to roll. And I think you watch guys emerge. I think about a guy like Joel Kuhnel, who joined us and came in, pitched in Yankee Stadium the day he got there, got a save the next day, and then in New York against the Mets, logged another 4-pitch, extremely efficient save. So you started to see guys, as they were showing up, fall in line and just say, yep, whenever you need me, I can go out there and I can get the job done. Now, there has been some struggle offensively, and I think it's been noted. Unfortunately, for a spell, we lost Brent Rooker, but what did that allow? It allowed Carlos Cortez to emerge and put together an incredible run. And you want to talk about taking advantage of the opportunities in front of you? I don't think there's a better example in baseball of Carlos Cortez taking advantage of the opportunities that were provided to him. Unfortunately, again, with the departure and the injury of Brent Rooker, but Brent Rooker is back, and Brent Rooker is starting to see the ball much better than he was when he first got back off the injured list. We have guys like Tyler Soderstrom and Lawrence Butler who probably still aren't performing at the level that they would like to. And when you think about a third of your lineup essentially not swinging it the way that you know they're capable of, and you still sit in first place, even with some of the struggles that we've seen from the bullpen here recently, that speaks a lot to what I think the starting pitching has been able to do, which is give guys a chance to win ball games. And if you can hand the baseball to a guy like Jack Perkins, who up until about a week ago or so was the leader in baseball when it comes to wins probability added, all right? It wasn't Shohei Ohtani, right? It wasn't the best player in baseball who you would have identified. It was Jack Perkins out of the bullpen, being able to give you extended relief, being able to lock games down. So when you have that special mix that I just identified, I think you understand who this team is, who this team can be, and I think that's where the expectation comes from. So am I surprised that they sit in the spot they're in right now? Not at all.
Thanks so much, Dallas. We're thinking of you. We love you, and we appreciate all this time you gave us.
Can't thank you enough for thinking of me. I appreciate it. We'll chat anytime, my man.
Thank you.
With the first month of the season down, we are starting to see more and more transactions throughout the entirety of the Athletics farm system. I'm Mariah Janos, caught up with Aviators manager Fran Reardon to discuss what he's seen from some of the top prospects making their way through the AAA club.
The 0-2 pitch on the way. Here it is to Walton. Fastball in there, called strike 3.
Let's start with Mason Barnett, coming off of PCL Pitcher of the Week. 5 shutout innings, 7 strikeouts. I know that in recent years his velocity has kind of dipped a little bit. Is that an area of concern? And when that does happen with a pitcher, how much of an emphasis is further put on accuracy over velo?
Well, I think it was an issue last year where Mason's velo was down for the first half of the season, and it was something that he was chasing. And I think that definitely affected his command. This year, he's back up to his normal velocity. He's 95, 96 consistently, and it's more effortless. And he's done a really nice job this year of just trying to stay consistent and trying to repeat his delivery so that he can throw as many quality strikes with his velocity that he normally pitches with.
Now I want to shift over to some of the recent transactions. Brett Harris goes up comes Tommy White from Double-A. How seamless of a transition has that been for him? I know he hit his first homer at the AAA level just a few days ago. I feel like it really speaks to the depth of this farm system for you to really just be able to call guys up and plug and play. But is that transition as seamless as it has appeared?
Well, it depends on the player, but Tommy White has fully embraced the transition. Seeing more consistent quality pitching every single night, and he's so talented. We saw what he was able to do in spring training. He had a fantastic spring training. He had a fantastic start to a season in Midland. So it warranted the call-up, and then when Brett Harris got sent to the big leagues, it just made sense for him to come and play third base for us.
Well, sticking at that Midland AA level, Leo DeVries obviously wowed during spring training. He's also playing third base with Midland as well. With that type of versatility, how much does that accelerate the timeline for a player of his caliber?
Well, those decisions are obviously made by the front office, but in today's game, the more versatile you are as a defender, the easier it is to get you in the lineup, not only at the next level for DeVries in AAA, but in the big leagues as well. So just the fact that he's been open to making a position switch, mid-season, it just shows you that he's hungry to do whatever it takes to get to the big leagues. And from what I've heard, he's done a really nice job with the transition to third. So when you have someone that has his type of ability, you want to get him to the big leagues as quick as possible, but you also want to make it so that he's comfortable playing whatever position that the big leagues demands.
All right, so for fans here in Vegas, 2028 can't come soon enough, but as Kevin will show us, the players are just as excited about the move.
Play ball, Las Vegas. This is Covering the Bases with the A's. Sponsored by Big Bully Turf.
In 10 days, A's legend and Hall of Famer Reggie Jackson is turning 80 years old. Now, unsurprisingly, he will be featured much later in our Green and Gold countdown of the 50 greatest athletics ever. But this week, we're talking about a couple of his outfield mates for those dynastic mid-70s teams in Oakland. We'll finish off the 40s of this countdown tonight, starting with center fielder Bill North. He came over to the A's in a trade before the '73 season, right in the middle of the swinging A's dynasty, where they won 3 straight World Series. North was off and running, literally stealing tons of bases, leading the league twice, and he was a great fielder too. He led all outfielders in putouts, assists, and even double plays during his first year in Oakland. North spent 4 years playing in the outfield with and high-fiving left fielder Joe Rudy, who won 3 Gold Gloves and finished runner-up in MVP voting twice during that run of 3 straight titles for the A's, which started in 1972 with a win over Cincinnati in a tight fall classic in which all 4 A's wins came by just 1 run. Rudy was the hero of Game 2. He hit a go-ahead home run in the 2nd inning, and then he made a crazy jumping catch in the 9th to preserve the win. It's one of the most iconic catches in World Series history. That game proved to be the difference, with the A's winning the series 4-3. Next week on Green and Gold Countdown, we're going to the hot corner, talking about a couple A's World Series champs who starred at third base.
Every week here on CTV, we've been showing you the progress of the A's new stadium being built on the corner of Trop and the Strip. But how much are the players paying attention? Turns out, quite a bit.
As the excitement builds in Southern Nevada for the A's arrival in 2028, the players are in the position of focusing on the season and the next one in Sacramento, while also looking ahead to their new home. Many players made trips in the offseason to visit the site. For Jacob Wilson and Tyler Soderstrom, they built it into their business trip when they signed their new contracts.
Got to see what they're building, got to see the blueprints and everything, what it's going to look like, and as a player, that's all you can ask for. And we're excited to be able to be there and be in the city art stadium that they're building. And obviously, the city itself is amazing. Just being able to know that we're going to have a great fan base there, just because obviously the Raiders do, and the Golden Knights and the Aces all have great fan bases there. So excited to be able to share that city with them.
I got to go to Vegas for my signing and kind of see the progress firsthand. It was it's really amazing. The Strip, right on the Strip. They talk about we're the only sports team that'll be actually on the Strip. So it's going to be super amazing. You see all the progress on social media. It's going up super fast. So it's going to be great.
Some say the anticipation and interest will have to come later. They need to focus on the now.
You see all this stuff. It's cool getting to see the stadium being built and all that type of stuff. But as of right now, that's still 2 years away. So it's that can't be the main focus. It's we've got 2 more years in Sacramento, and more specifically, we've got this 2026 season in Sacramento. So that's what we're focused on.
I'm very much a live in the now kind of guy. So I'm worried about, Sacramento right now, and then when we get to Vegas, I'll be super excited for, what to come there.
Then there's Lawrence Butler, a self-proclaimed close observer of architecture and new stadiums being built. He's watching everything from drone footage to the on-ground site footage.
I'm excited. I like watching stuff being built like that too, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, it's really exciting. I'm excited to see how it'll just, look after, being just an empty lot of dirt. So I'm excited just for the finished product.
The A's players were consulted in the planning process for specific amenities that they want in their new home, and some of them are being done. Just what hasn't been disclosed yet. But these are players that can't wait to play in baseball's newest crown jewel.
Play ball, Las Vegas. This is Covering the Bases with the A's. Sponsored by Big Bully Turf.
So, Kevin, the A's looking to bounce back after a tough series in Philly. Baltimore is this weekend. What are the keys to victory versus the Orioles?
Well, the best player on the Orioles, clearly Adley Rutschman, the catcher, hitting over 300. He has a slugging percentage of .563 while being a steadying presence behind the plate. The O's also seeing power results from offseason acquisition Pete Alonso, who has 7 home runs so far this season. Now, the A's won't have to face Jackson Holliday, who just started his 3rd rehab stint this week in AA after suffering a broken bone in his right hand in spring training. He's not expected back until later this month. And for the A's, this is a series they want the bats to come to life again. Baltimore's rotation 28th in ERA so far this season.
And before we go, we got to say a big congrats to Shea Langoliers and his wife Reagan, welcoming a baby boy, as we told you earlier in the show, their first child. Congratulations to them. We'll see you next time here on Covering the Bases with the A's.